Hi everybody, we are going to be talking today about subtracting mixed numbers by renaming or regrouping, as some of you would call it. And I've got some really rudimentary pictures up here, but what I have drawn for you is the equivalent of two wholes, W-H-O-L-E, and then 1/3 of another piece. And I want to subtract 1 2/3 from it. So in order to do that, I really cannot take away anything unless I have divided another whole into thirds. So if I wanted to remove 1 2/3, I would take away this whole, and then I would take away this one, and I would take away another one, doesn't matter which one. And how many do I have left? Well, I have left 2/3. That's how you would draw a picture of what you are actually doing. And I'm going to show you mathematically what you are doing. We touched on this in our 6.4 lesson, but here we're going to go down to 1, and we're going to add a fancy form of 1, which is 3/3. So we had 1/3. Now we're going to add 3/3 to it. Now it's going to be 4/3. So 4/3 minus 2/3 is 2/3. 1 minus 1 is obviously 0. So our final answer is 2/3. Drawing that picture helps you see what we are actually doing when we add the 3/3, because that's the step that matches right here. So I've written the steps right here. This is a great thing to go through when you're doing your actual assignment. We're going to go through these two together. I'm going to talk you through it, and then I would like you to try the ones at the bottom. I'll pause the video and put the real answers up with all of the work, and you need to see if you can do that. So this one is just like when you're trading or regrouping across zeros. So I am going to take this to a 4, and I am going to put, since this is already in sevenths, I am going to put 7/7 up here. 7/7 minus 1/7 would be 6/7. 4 minus 3 is 1. So your final answer would be 1 6/7. Notice that I chose my denominator based on what this was. It doesn't matter if this was 8ths, I could make it 8/8. It's just a fancy form of 1. A lot of students forget and they just bring the 1/7 down, but you can't take 1/7 from a big old nothing. Don't forget that. That's an easy mistake that can be made. Here we see that we can have a common denominator of 12. And I would make my fancy form of 1 here. If I multiply 1 times 4 is 4. And now I have, this is 3. So this would be 9. So now I have 4/12 minus 9/12. I like to put these in little ones so I remember. Well, I am going to have to regroup. Put this down to a 4, and I'm going to add it a 12/12. So I have 16/12. So now I need to take 9 from 16. So I will get 7/12, and 4 minus 3 is 1. Please note all of the steps it takes to get this. You need to, on a quiz or test, be able to show how to do this. So I have 3 down here that you can give a try. Copy them down, and I will release their answers one at a time so that you can see if you get one right before you move on to the next. All right, so the first one, I added the fancy form of 1, so I got 9/7 minus 3/7 is 1 6/7. Give yourself a little smiley face if you got that one correct. So in this one, we had a 0 up here, so I just simply looked at the eighths and I chose 8/8 as my 1. When I regrouped it over here, 7 minus 5 is 2, 8 minus 3 is 5, I have 5/8. Pause the video and try number 3, and I'm going to talk you through it up here. So what I'm going to choose to do here is put it over the 20ths. So I need to do this one by 5 over 5, this one by 4 over 4, my fancy forms of 1. So this will be 5/20 minus 12/20. Woo, I can't do that. So I'm going to take this down to a 5 and add 20/20, giving me 25. My 5 isn't looking very happy. 20ths. So this would be 13. 25 minus 12 is 13/20, and 5 minus 2 is 3. I think all in all, this concept isn't terribly difficult, except that there are a lot of steps. And if any one of these has an addition error, or if you multiplied here incorrectly, then this final answer will not be correct. It is absolutely imperative that you know your facts, and if you know you're struggling with the 7s, practice them in the car. Also, you do need to show your work. That way I can tell where the breakdown is and we can fix that up. Maybe you're having trouble with your addition. Maybe you're having trouble with your multiplication. Maybe subtraction doesn't come as easily to you. Please use FactMaster or online drill places to get more familiar with all of these. All right, there are more links provided if you need extra help from Khan, and they're below the assignment. Otherwise, go ahead and try the assignment and see me if you have any questions.